Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mimí Folco from Harvey Alchemy. I'm a tarot reader, astrologer, numerologist, Reiki practitioner, a lot of other things as well. And today I'm doing a tarot reading to look at what we are moving on from. Where are we headed? Right? So moving on, moving forward. I noticed that I use this term a lot of movement. I always say movement forward, like having a trajectory or some sort of path to be going on. And I really wanted to pay my respects to whatever term that is, because it's been coming up so much for me and I needed to gain a stronger understanding of it. And so that is what we are looking at. This is kind of a spread, good for any time, very general, but also I want to look at what we are moving on from, where we are headed, how we know we're in the right place, any messages from guides, whatever obstacles we have, right? So we're really gonna go into it. I have your piles here on the table. Before we get there, just a reminder, I am doing that giveaway. So once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I am giving away multiple readings. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to this channel, follow me on Instagram, and then comment below to let me know that you did those things, and I will add you to the list. I'm also coming up with an astrology segment soon, and all I need from you guys, if you're interested in being featured, is give me your birth information and whatever questions you have about your chart or about your life, anything that you want to know, almost as though you're asking for a tarot reading, but instead I'm going to be giving you a little reading in your chart, a little analysis of what's going on with you in your transits as well. I also still have my referral system going on for astrology. I loved meeting some of you guys. Thank you for booking those astrology sessions. If you refer somebody to me and they book an astrology session, you get 20% off of your next astrology session, which is just like a win-win because you get some money off and I get to meet you guys and I get to analyze some charts, which is really fun. I also have tarot readings, Reiki sessions, as well as numerology readings available on my website, all at harveymountainalchemy.com, where I also have my unique crystal candles available for sale. So if you're interested in any of those offerings, please go check it out. And I think that's pretty much it. So I've got your piles on the table. Let's see what you pick, and yeah, let's go. All right, so pile number 1, you have got this rest card. Pile 2, surrender. And pile 3, confidence. All right, so pile 1, we have got your rest card here. And I'm gonna read what we've got from our little booklet here for the rest card. Rest is essential for all beings. This card symbolizes the need for a little extra downtime to recharge. By giving yourself and your body the rest you need, you'll conserve the energy to achieve your goals with clarity and purpose. I love that. So being able to rest within the body so that you can find clarity through the mind. So we are going to look at first, what are you moving on from? I've got my Sasuraibito here. What are you moving on from? And a card immediately fell out, and another one. All right, so what are you moving on from? We've got the Star and we've got Knight of Wands. So I almost feel like there's a male energy. Maybe it's even a person that you are moving on from. Maybe there was a breakup, if he has any Aquarius placements. But it also feels like maybe you're moving away from this idea that your goals are really out of reach, right? That you have to do so much to get to them because you've sort of come to a place where they are attainable. That those goals you're seeking aren't anymore, they're not out in space, you know, like you don't have to go out to space to find what you really want. It's actually much closer to you than you thought. You're closer to it than you thought you would be at this point. This Knight of Wands, what are you moving on from? I don't know, it almost feels like you're moving on from that hustle and grind or moving on from a constant need to move, right? You've got that rest card. So maybe it's a good time to sit still for some time to really be able to gain that clarity, like it said. So what are you moving on from? I definitely feel like goals is on point for some of you, like that the fact that your goals are unattainable or that those are pipe dreams, definitely that is coming to mind. And you have to find the confidence to believe that your goals really are here. So let's see, where are you headed as you move on from this phase? And if it's a person, yeah, like you're moving on from a dependence on that person, right? Somebody who, you know, you felt so confidently would be a part of your life for so long. And yeah, moving on from it, seeing that there's something more vast out there. Where are you headed? I love that. Okay, hold on. I want one more card though. A little more clarity. Sometimes they just don't want to. Oh, here we go. This is the one I want. Beautiful. Okay, so where are you headed? You've got this Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is the wish granting card. And see, she's making a wish. She's having a party. I think it's her birthday. They are celebrating her. So I think you are headed into this space of making your wishes, celebrating your wishes, believing that they can come true. And then you've got the Hanged Man. So that element of surrender that I mentioned earlier too, letting go of the need to always be doing something. This rest card is really coming through strong. Letting go of the need to always be doing something, because the fact that you are willing to make wishes is you telling yourself that you are deserving of getting those wishes. So make those wishes. Now is a great time to work on your manifestation or on your attracting what you want. So surrender. Sit within and look at how she's taking this active rest, right? She's doing something for herself so that she can find peaceful clarity of mind, but she's doing it actively, right? So rather than just settling and maybe going into sloth mode or couch potato mode, like being active in the fact that you are slowing down and making your wishes, asking the universe what it is you want, and knowing that you are going to get those wishes if you believe that you really do deserve them. So let's see what obstacles are stopping you. I'm going to continue using this deck. Ooh, what obstacles are stopping you or in your way? You got the Three of Cups and the Ten of Wands. I think you're carrying the burdens of other people right now. You're placing so much more importance on other people and you're not speaking your truth. I say all of this because this Three of Cups speaks on your social circles. It speaks on a celebration and a support of a community. And I feel like you are doing a lot of the support. You're carrying a lot of the weight. That's what that Ten of Wands speaks on. You're carrying a lot of weight for other people and it doesn't feel like it's being reciprocated. And you need to really communicate to yourself that you need to be supported. You need to be boosted up in your community. You need to really speak your truth, because all of this blue is telling me all about this throat chakra feeling really blocked, right? We're looking at what obstacles are stopping you. What are your roadblocks right now? And all of this blue energy feels like you're not speaking your truth. You're not speaking in alignment with what you really believe. And maybe even that's that element of making your wish, right? Asking the universe what you want, because that is like, and I mean out loud, like speaking to the air, speaking to the moon, even if you need that. I love speaking to the moon. So, excuse me. Yeah, so definitely that's what's stopping you. Let's see how you can push past those obstacles, what you need to do to move past that. Oh, how sweet. We got the Two of Cups and the Two of Wands. At first, my reaction is like, that's so sweet. Really focus on the one-on-one relationships. I almost feel like there's, you know, this group, this Three of Cups, that are really working on support and just like having that community. But what you need to do to get past that is to have open communication. And again, it is speaking up. Having open communication with your community, or even if it's in a friend circle or in a relationship, it's definitely a one-on-one conversation that needs to happen between you and the people that you don't feel are really giving you the appreciation that you deserve. So speaking up on that front, and also disentangling yourself from those relationships. Maybe there's a part of you that's taking it really personally, that your people, community, friends, partner, family isn't boosting you up or supporting you the way that you support them. And you might be taking that a little personally, but maybe it isn't your job to take that personally. Maybe a lesson for you to learn here is that that is just a projection of their own insecurities, right? That they really do need to feel like you are supporting them, because they already maybe are intimidated by whatever success that you're having right now. So allowing yourself to open conversations with other people, having vulnerable conversations with others, and letting them bloom and open up into whatever other conversation it turns into, right? Making sure that there's no toxicity there, making sure that you have a clear mind, that rest is really coming up for me. Making sure that you have an objective and what you are really trying to achieve in the conversation. But I do feel like there's a disentangling that needs to happen between what these people are doing and how that makes you feel, right? Instead of taking it personally, instead seeing that as just like a projection of their own experiences right now. And this could also relate to whatever male figure there was at the beginning of what are we moving on from. There's like some sort of connection that really needs to be broken, and it could be with a person, but it also could be with whatever your personal goals are right now, and you need extra support to achieve these goals for you, but people don't know that that's what you need unless you tell them that's what they need. So that's how you can push past those obstacles. Let's see let's look at how you know that you're doing the right thing, right? Like any sort of confirmation from the universe, what is going to show up? I'm going to use this relative tarot. Wow, okay. Interesting. We got the Page of Swords and we got the Star again. So that's the second time you've gotten the Star. I almost feel like astrology is really strong with you right now. You know, like you're really following what the stars are saying, or maybe you're getting really in touch with your own chart. And it's just the beginning. Look at how she's pointing at them. I almost feel like you'll know you're doing the right thing when you're feeling like you are being bossy or demanding, or that you're kind of like speaking, you're putting your foot in your own mouth, you know, like where you feel like you're saying the wrong things. That's because you've been conditioned to say the opposite, right? You've been conditioned to always support everybody else. So it's time to support yourself. And so when you start to really speak your truth, speak up for yourself, there's going to be discomfort there. So that's how you know you're doing the right thing. Obviously, watch that, you know, like make sure that you are being caring and sympathetic and compassionate with the way that you speak to others, because other humans are also having similar experiences. But you are your largest advocate. So it's really important for you to gain that clarity of mind and clarity of truth. So that's how you'll know that you're doing the right thing. Let's see if there are any additional messages from your guides. Moving on and moving forward. Oh, wow. Okay, we got 4 cards. I'm gonna look at these 2 that landed on the 10 of Wands and Rest. You got the Page of Cups and this 9 of Pentacles. Reflection is really important, and I think almost like a journal prompt, or, you know, just a conversation prompt, a conversation with yourself. If you're not a journaler, I like to do like voice notes, right? Like just to get thoughts out of my mind. A prompt for you is, how do I feel about the term abundance? How do I feel about my own experience with abundance? Do I feel like an abundant person? Do I resist my own abundance? So that's something to think on, and I almost think that's something to meditate on, because it landed on this Rest card, that like a good calm meditation and then journaling about that would be really, really good for you right now, because I think there's a discomfort with saying, again, I deserve my wishes to come true. I think there's sort of a discomfort, a pain, a dislike, a feeling egocentric or self-centered if I say like, oh, well, I deserve to succeed in blah, blah, blah. I deserve to have a great relationship. I deserve to have a great job. I deserve to have a lot of money in the bank. I think that's a natural tendency for humans to say like, oh, who am I to say that I deserve this? But it's time for you to embody that abundant mindset for yourself, and not taking on the burden of other people's abundance, right? You know, you're so quick to support your friends and to say like, of course you deserve your wishes to come true, but speak to yourself as though you are your best friend. I'm going to read the last 2 cards here. Okay. We've got the High Priestess, so really getting in touch with your own higher self, your higher power, the universe, source. Let me know in the comments what terminology you use, because I love to hear about that. I personally use the term the universe and my higher self, my aligned self, feeling connected. And we've got the 6 of Wands. So it really is all about harnessing your unique spiritual connection to whatever your path is right now. And you may feel a little directionless, because we do have this star here, which is all about the future and what your goals are. But he's not really tethered. He's not rooted in where he's going, right? He's got no direction. So it's important for you just to gain this meditation, this meditative state, to really get calm within yourself and to learn how to really celebrate yourself. That's what the 6 of Wands is all about. All right, pile one, I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that whatever you're moving on from happens quickly and painlessly. And I hope that you learn how to accept your own abundance, because yes, you really are. Open up those conversations with other people. Have the vulnerable moments where you feel like you're being self-centered. You are taking care of yourself. You're finally releasing this blockage in your throat. So speak up for yourself and speak your truth. All right, I will see you guys next time. Bye. All right, so pile two, I have got your surrender card here. I'm just going to read from the booklet what it says, and I'm sure that it'll come up in the rest of the reading. So, surrender. By ceasing to resist, you can create peace for yourself. The act can be uncomfortable at first because it hurts the ego. But when we surrender and let go, we free the parts of ourselves that worked so hard to fight. Now that you are free, what can you do? What new pathways can you go down? That's beautiful. Yeah, so surrendering control, surrendering the ego. When we surrender and let go, we free the parts of ourselves that worked so hard to fight, always fighting. And that really speaks to me, and I think that's going to come up more throughout the reading, of why do we constantly feel like, oh, if I'm fighting, if I'm putting in a lot of energy, that must mean that I'm working towards a goal and I'm going to reach that goal. Sometimes the most success comes when we do surrender and when we let go and we allow the universe to sort of make those choices for us, make those decisions for us, and provide what we need at the right time, rather than trying to force what we think we need all of the time. So, my gosh, it's so windy out. I'm sure you can hear the wind chimes outside. So I'm going to pick some cards, starting with what it is that you're even moving on from, right? We're going to look at the energy of what it is you are moving on from, moving forward away from. Interesting. Okay. Huh. So you've got the Page of Swords and the Queen of Wands. I do think there's that repetition of what the surrender card was saying, is a release of always having to do something. This Page of Swords really speaks to me that, it tells me every time that, this girl thinks that there's a book that's going to tell her how to succeed at life, that tells her exactly what she needs to do at the right time, that there's somebody out there that knows exactly what she needs to do all of the time. And it's just not true. There is no textbook for life, right? There's no instruction manual for your 20s. So I think that's sort of what you're moving away from, is the idea that you can control how the next couple years or how this phase of your life is going to go. Right? You're constantly waiting for these light bulbs to go off and say, right, that's it. It's connected. It's clicked. As though the book is going to give that to you. You find that within yourself. And that's what this Queen of Wands says, is that fire is all within yourself. The Wands is all about that inspiration, ignition. You've heard me say it a million times. But the Queen is all this internal energy, right? She's a generator. So she generates within herself that confidence and that understanding that she has everything she needs within herself to do things, rather than looking externally for some source that'll tell her what she needs to do, right? The Queen of Wands is not concerned with what anybody else is telling her to do. She knows what she needs to do, and she surrenders to the fact that her body and her mind and her soul and her spirit guides are all there to support her so that she can sit comfortably, and allows what comes to her, allows what is supposed to come to her. So that is what we are moving on from, is this idea, and I think definitely the idea of control, right? And I think if you pick the card surrender, you're one of two people. You've either gained some sort of comfort with surrender, and this is a phase that you're going through, a cycle that you've been kind of navigating and starting to understand, or you're just intrigued by the thought of surrender because your intuitive body knows that that's what you need to do. And so ultimately what you are moving on from is that idea that you have to have control over the next phase of your life or over the journey that you're in right now. So let's see where we are headed. I'm going to use the relative here. Where are you headed? Perfect. Wow, we got the Wheel of Fortune and we got the Hanged Man. Both of these cards are all about surrender. They're all about release. The Wheel of Fortune speaks on letting, almost like a letting the wheel steer you, right? You don't direct the wheel directs itself. And if you just allow the wheel to take its own path, then this fortune does come to you, right? That you are within the wheel and the wheel is within you. So the idea that you have to control it, that's just your ego shining through. You do not have to control the wheel. The wheel is within you and you are within the wheel. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else out there, but it's really speaking true. Like that's what certain spirit guides are really saying. And then the Hanged Man is literally all about surrender. It's about divine delay too. So if you feel like things are happening really slowly or like things aren't even happening at all, that is the Hanged Man speaking to you directly, that they aren't happening for a reason. If they were to happen now, you wouldn't have the tools that you need to deal with it or to deal with whatever repercussions, consequences, whatever was meant to happen. It just isn't ready to happen quite yet. So I feel like there is some sense of impatience, which this Page of Swords does tend to be a little impatient in my eyes and how I feel it, because she just wants to consume all the information. She just wants to know it all. She's like, why aren't my light bulbs lit yet? You know, I don't even care what danger I'm in. I just like want to consume the information. She's a little impatient. And the Queen of Wands, although you'd imagine she would be impatient, she's actually just so confident with where she is that she doesn't care about what is or isn't happening around her, because she knows she holds the power within herself. So I feel like there's some sort of impatience happening with you right now from whatever you are moving on from, almost like you could have moved on from this phase, whatever it is that you've been trying to control. You could have moved on from that so long ago, but you put in so much effort and so much work to make it work, and now you're realizing all of that was for nothing. And that can be really upsetting and that can be frustrating. But it really is about letting go of it, because holding on to that frustration isn't going to do anything for you. All right, so let's see what obstacles are stopping you from heading to where you're heading, this almost place of nirvana, of serenity, of calm, of zen. Ooh, wow. Okay, so what obstacles are stopping you? Well, we've got this 8 of Wands. That came down upside down, then the other two really popped up. And then we've got the Devil and we've got Temperance. So what is stopping you? Almost these expectations that you put on yourself, these goals that you set for yourself. I think those are stopping you more than they are motivating you. So having to let go and making sure that you're being kind to yourself. I have to say this every single time, but you know, to some people, the idea of being kind to yourself is such a weird concept, right? Or it's like a revelation that like, oh my God, I didn't realize I had to be kind to myself here. I thought I was motivating myself and pushing myself, and sometimes that is what's needed. But I think you've been pushing yourself for so long, maybe even trying to force a situation that just wasn't meant to be. So stop. First off, you got to stop doing that. And it's almost like give everything up, let everything stop for a moment, and that's going to scare you and that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. Sit in the discomfort, ask yourself why, blah, 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 always. And I do think that there's some part of society that's made you feel, and this is just true for everybody, like the whole idea of capitalism, that makes you feel like you have to be go, go, go all the time. Otherwise you're lazy, or unproductive, or sloth-like, or couch potato-like, which is funny. That's been coming up lately. So making sure that you're moderating the way that you do things. If you own your own business, making sure that you actually have a schedule rather than working all day, all night. You're available at all hours of the day. Don't give away all of your energy to that business. You need to conserve some of that energy for yourself, if that is the case. Also in relationships, that could be true, right? Not giving all of your energy away, not letting somebody have that power over you, right? Surrendering to the fact that if they need to feel like they have power over you, it's probably not the right relationship. And I have to say, I have these tarot cards on my wall right now, and they're hanging, and all of them are mostly facing in, but I have one deck that's facing out, and it is the Queen of Wands, which is exactly this card that you have here. So again, really sitting in your own power, generating your own confidence within yourself, looking for external sources, looking to society to tell you how you're supposed to live. That is not what's going to work for you. That is not going to help you. You have to make sure that you temper your schedule, temper the way that you speak to yourself, temper also that desire for knowledge and success and movement forward with the idea of surrender, right? That inspiration, that excitement, that fire in your belly that makes you want to move forward is not a bad thing at all. In fact, that's what you really need to step into. But I think the method in which you're finding that energy just isn't the most conducive or isn't the most healthy or healing way for you to do that. So that's what's stopping you. And let's see how we can push past those obstacles. How can we push past those obstacles? This guy. The Seven of Swords. Open communication with the self. Open reflection with the self. We're going to ignore all those. And Eight of Pentacles. Putting in the work. I feel like shadow work is a word that some people hear and they're like, yeah, I'm doing shadow work. But like, are you really reflecting on all of the facets of that self-work that you need to be doing? How often are you communicating with yourself about the boundaries that you set with you, or the boundaries that you set with others, or the impatience that you feel? When you're feeling frustrated, what do you do to make yourself feel better? Do you just numb out? Do you just absorb content that'll make you forget what you were feeling? I would challenge you to look at your frustration and ask yourself where that frustration came from. There are all of these blank pages that want to be written on. I almost feel like telling your story is going to be really important, if not to others, then to yourself. Communicating, reflecting, maybe with a therapist or maybe with some professional, maybe getting a tarot reading or having some sort of open healing session with somebody else. Really putting in the work is going to be important. And if it's not that, it's doing something tangible that you enjoy, that makes you physically feel good. That Eight of Pentacles really, like, I imagine playing with pottery, right? Like, that's such a sensory experience, that getting to feel that clay between your hands and molding it and creating something out of nothing, right? Really putting in that effort. But I think self-reflection is really important, and the idea of surrender. Why did you pick the surrender card? Really, and let me know in the comments, why did you pick surrender? What about the word surrender really calls to you or makes you feel uncomfortable, right? Maybe that's why you picked it, because it's uncomfortable and you don't like it, which if you did, like, props to you, that's amazing. So let's see, how will you know you are in the right place, that you are doing the right thing? Okay, well, I'm gonna pick the cards that are sort of facing up the most right now. But we do have Temperance and the Wheel of Fortune again, so I think these are just being reiterated. That is very Sagittarian. So if you have Sagittarius ancestors, spirit guides, friends, very close spiritual friends, really pay attention to that Sagittarian energy. This is really interesting that both Sag cards came out, especially because Where Are You Headed was the Wheel of Fortune. What are the obstacles is Temperance. So I mean, really watch out for those Sagittarian influences. They could either be very healing or they could be maybe blocking some of the growth that you're working on. But I'm going to focus on how will you know that you're doing the right thing. You've got the Lovers and you've got the Hermit. I almost feel like you'll know you're doing the right thing if you are comfortable being by yourself doing absolutely nothing. I almost feel like there's some people out there who really struggle with meditation. You'll know you're growing and you're doing the right thing if you can add 1 minute of meditation every day and be comfortable in that. Be comfortable in the silence, be comfortable in just sitting with yourself. And then that comfort will extend out to your relationships with other people. And that, I think, is where we're really going, right? Filling up your own gut, your heart, your throat, your head, your root, everything, filling everything up within you with confidence that there is comfort with being with yourself. And then that comfort will really translate to your relationships with other people. And pay attention to the Sag. Pay attention to Sagittarian people who are in your life. Pay attention to what happened for you during Sagittarius season. Looking forward to Sagittarius season. Maybe it's every Sagittarius moon, right? So every time the moon is in Sag, pay attention to that. So let me know what meaning Sagittarius has for you. I'm curious. So let's see what any additional messages from your guides. There we go. 3 cards. My goodness, you guys are getting a lot of cards. 4 cards. Okay. We've got Judgment. Being really honest with the self again. That it's not just like, oh, okay, I'm going to journal and, you know, it's a very deep inner hidden truth within yourself that you are exposing just to you. We've got this strength. You are getting so many majors. I have a friend who only pretty much gets majors when she pulls cards, so I bet she picked this pile. But strength, again, knowing the strength that is within you, right? That's very much that Queen of Wands. And then these two are cards that haven't really popped up, but we've got the King of Wands and the Four of Cups. That once you are kind of on the other side of this journey, once you have really achieved this sense of confidence within yourself, then you are actually the influence to others, right? So now is sort of the time for you to stop looking at external influences for any sort of growth or validation, because you have to do that for yourself. And then once you have done that, you become the external influence for other people. And that is a really beautiful thing, right? Being able to heal that for yourself within yourself, and then putting it out there, being an emotional support for others, lending out that cup to somebody else who really needs it. So this is sort of where you're looking at being a healer yourself, being able to heal yourself, having that power within you, and then being able to do that for others. So that's really beautiful. And I think your guides just want to say, like, it's all worth it, because if you're able to get through this, when you're able to get through this, there's something really beautiful on the other side. All right, pile 2, I hope that was helpful. I'm sending you guys a lot of love. I'm feeling really optimistic about this pile. Maybe it's all the Sag. So I will see you guys next time. Bye. All right, so pile 3, we have got your confidence card right here. Very cool, very calm, very collected and confident. So we're gonna read from the guidebook what it says about this card. Confidence is not a fixed attribute. It's something that we're continuously working to build throughout our lives. This card signifies that it's the right time to start working with and enhancing your sense of self-confidence. How can you build more confidence in your life in a meaningful way? All right, so we're really working on being able to be confident within the self. I almost feel like this little smiley face is even hiding behind their glasses. So even then, I feel like there's an element of hiding. So maybe there's something about you that you're really hiding right now. So let's pull some cards on what are you moving on from, just to see what we're even talking about for the rest of this reading. We've got this guy, Four of Pentacles and King of Wands. All right, so there's definitely some ego going on there. And ego doesn't mean that you're overly confident, right? Ego just means that there's a part of you that feels like you have to defend yourself, right? When we get defensive in arguments, that's our ego really showing up. When you flip your hair on camera, that's my ego showing up. Defensiveness, needing to control the situation. You've got this Four of Pentacles, which really is a card on control. It is about holding everything that's dear to you really close to the chest, holding your cards close to the chest, not sharing like those valuable insights within yourself. And then you've got this King of Wands. I think you're moving on from what it means to be a leader. You're moving on from what it means to have power or have authority in a way. And it doesn't mean you have to be like a dictator almost. I feel like more meanings will show up as we go on, but there's a need to kind of like redefine what leading means to you, almost like what it means. If there are any parents out there, like constantly looking at what sort of parent you want to be or what sort of methods you use with your child or children. Yeah, that's so interesting. Okay, so let's see where we're headed, because I think that might give a little more information on what exactly you are moving on from. Where are you headed? Where are you headed? That King of Wands is so interesting to me too, because he's got Saturn behind him. He's got leaves on him. So it's a very earthy, very lesson-oriented. Oh my gosh, we've got 5 cards, you guys. I can't. Oh, there's 4 majors and then a minor. I gotta reshuffle because that's too much energy to read. I feel like probably a lot of people have picked this confidence pile. So there's a lot of messages being mixed around. So we've got Temperance. We've got the Wheel, very Sagittarian, similar to pile 2. That was definitely an element of pile 2. And let's see what else. I need more specifics here. Where are we headed? The Tower, which is one of the cards that came out earlier. So where are you headed? You've got Temperance, you've got the Wheel, and you have got the Tower. Sudden changes in your life, absolutely. Sudden changes, some good, maybe some bad. And I think there's just an element of fearing change, especially with this Four of Pentacles, where we are moving on from like resource guarding. I don't know if you guys know about dogs, and I'm definitely sitting in dogland right now because I'm getting a puppy, and so training is a whole thing. But resource guarding is when a puppy or a dog does not allow any other person or any other dog, any other being to touch their food or to touch their toys because they're afraid they're going to lose their food or toys, right? So in defense, like in a preliminary defense, they growl, right? So like, no, you are not getting this from me because I've experienced loss or I've experienced trauma. So I think that the idea of change coming towards you, immediately you go to, oh no, that's bad, or oh no, I'm afraid. But you've got like such Sag influences here. You've got Temperance and you've got the Wheel. So whatever changes are coming at you are actually quite expansive and quite opening, right? They open a lot of new pathways for you. And I think they're going to open up your mind. And I think, again, that leadership role is really coming up. So moving on from being a follower to heading into really leading a group, leading a community, leading workshops, teaching, really sharing with people what you know, sharing your knowledge, sharing your wealth, sharing your experience, I think is really important. There's something here about like cycles and moderation. Obviously, Temperance is all about moderation. Wheel is all about cycles. Making sure that you're being really intentional with what you put in your body, I think is really important. Maybe just watching that health and watching how what you put in your body affects your mental health, right? I don't do like health readings. I'm not here to tell anybody what any diagnoses or anything, but I do think there's a focus on physical health affecting the mental health, and then mental health affecting the physical health. So where you headed is having a really intentional and purposeful way of looking at what you put in your body, or how you treat your body, how you speak to your body, right? This Tower card is unique in that she's on the phone right now and she's filled with red. For me, I always see this card as she is the Tower. She is creating this Tower energy, this aggression or this sudden change, this unpredictability. So are you the only one that's speaking to yourself or speaking on your body in this negative way? Are you, or are you getting it from other people too? Are people speaking on your body and speaking on your appearance? If that's the case, you have to set your boundaries and you have to say, that is not okay. That is not your place to speak on my health if you are being active and intentional and purposeful with your body. So taking the leadership on that also is being important, but making sure that you are, rather than just saying like, how dare you speak on that when you're not doing anything for you. Maybe they're coming from a place of love, compassion, and care. So having to take that on a case-by-case basis. So that's where you're headed, is this place of moderation, of living with intention, of living with purpose, sitting in confidence, right? Knowing that you are doing everything that you need to be doing for yourself, and sudden changes coming your way too, and being able to accept those sudden changes. I think confidence really speaks on, I know that I am able to handle whatever comes my way. So I think that is an element of confidence, and that is an element of taking the lead and taking the power of your own life's direction. And that's what's really showing up for you. So we got a basic understanding of what exactly you are moving on from. So let's look at what obstacles are stopping you. What obstacles or roadblocks are there here? We've got the Queen of Pentacles and we've got the King of Cups. Interesting. I think there's a lot of fear, maybe loss, maybe some trauma that is sitting in the body that does need to be released, that's inhibiting this confidence. You've got this Queen of Pentacles very much in the body. She's holding all of this very close to her again. I feel like she's holding this Four of Pentacles energy, even for herself, which I've never felt with the Queen of Pentacles, but this one I definitely am. And then this King of Cups, holding your emotions really, really tight to your chest. I think it's important for you to acknowledge feelings. I mean, God, I feel like a broken record. I say this probably every week. It's important for you to acknowledge what you're feeling and to not run away from it and not to feel afraid of having feelings. It's okay. We all have feelings. We all have fear. We all have trigger words or trigger concepts or things that bring up pain or sadness or difficulty within us. And the more that you hold on to it within yourself, the more power it has over you. So really needing to put it outside of yourself so that you take some of that power back. those are the obstacles that are hindering you right now, is that not being able to really look at yourself and look at your experiences and feelings and worries and fears objectively. So I think I already know what the next kind of concept is going to be, but let's look at how you push past those obstacles. Yeah, I mean, literally, no two better cards could come up for you right now. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. 7 is the number of personal growth, of your personal path, it's a card of reflection and self-honesty, and it's of the Pentacles, right? So Pentacles in this reading has been the theme of what you are holding close to yourself, what you are resource guarding, what you are doing as a self-preservation technique or self-protection technique. And if you are in a position where you really do have to be protecting yourself, find somebody that you can trust, right? Somebody, a third party that is able to help you process your experiences right now. So the Seven of Pentacles is facing that resource guarding head on, really facing the fears, the worries, the anxieties, any traumas, any triggers. And then we got the Moon too, that you might feel like such a mess. You might feel like such a sticky, messy, emotional human to start with, and that is totally fine, right? That is absolutely what you can be, right? I'm not going to say that every one of you is going to be a sticky mess, but some of you might, and it isn't pleasant for some. For me, I kind of appreciate when things are sticky because I'm like, great, that means I'm really doing the work. So looking at the emotions, reflecting on the emotions, taking that nocturnal approach, that internal approach, and that I think would give you some confidence to be able to say like, wow, okay, I was able to handle that and I'm still okay. I'm still here. I'm strong. I'm healing. That could give you a lot of that confidence. So let's see what else we got. I'm really fumbling with the hair right now. So how will you know that you are doing the right thing? Oh, you got the King of Cups again and the Queen of Swords. Wow. I do think, like, let me know in the comments below if you are in therapy, if that's something comfortable for you to share. But this King of Cups, how will you know you're doing the right thing? When you are really in touch with your emotions, when you can respond to something rather than react, right? We all have an initial reaction to something, our first thought, our first reaction of, what we've kind of been conditioned to feel or think, and then to stop and think about it like this Queen of Swords, and then to respond the way that we actually want to, right? I always say, like, think about who you want to be in this situation and then be that person, right? We can always be a reactionary person, but again, that's coming from that place of ego, which was coming up earlier with your confidence card here. A shed of ego, but still being confident regardless of that ego. So really being able to be objective about your emotions, that's how you'll know that you're being right. When when you can recount how you feel without tearing up or without bubbling up with anger, that's how you know that, like, oh, I can observe my emotions without sitting in them all the time. It's really interesting that confidence was the card that you picked, and this reading is all about being open with yourself emotionally and not holding on to everything so close to your chest, and almost hiding that part of yourself. Because I feel like if you pick confidence, you're like, yeah, like, this is me. I don't know. There's something very, I don't know, just like hiding behind the confidence, or maybe, you're working on gaining confidence, which is really beautiful. But there's still some stuff on this journey that you need to be doing. So that's how you'll know you are on the right track. And let's see any additional messages from your guides. The Knight of Cups, the Queen of Swords again, and the Ten of Pentacles. Wow, so much value does come your way by doing this work, right? By really being able to sit in the thoughts, by sitting in what you're experiencing, how you're experiencing everything, the perspective that you give, or any insights that you are given. And this Knight of Cups is really like, take this to heart, really move forward. It's all about that movement and that trajectory, right? Gaining inertia or gaining momentum in this more emotional work of really self-reflecting and really being honest with the self. Any Pisces out there, I just feel like there's some Pisces out there. And if you're watching this during Pisces season, then then we're all kind of in it. And now is the time to be sitting in this. Now is the time to be looking at the emotional aspect of our journeys. And so I think your guides are just like, move forward with it. Really do look at what's in your cup rather than shielding yourself all of the time. And by doing that, by allowing yourself this, to accept that you are strong and that you are confident and that you are able to accept and reflect on your emotions, you do gain this strong abundance within yourself, a strength, a confidence, an understanding. So Pile 3, that was your reading. I hope that was helpful for you. I'm sending you guys a lot of love. Let me know in the comments below what resonated, what you're going through, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.